I'm scrapping this whole segment.
No.
This whole segment's going off.
This whole segment's gold. Either this stays in or we make this Patreon.
This
shit,
might be
man.
Patreon only. This might not stay on YouTube. Speaking of butt fucking slow burn, so
Us?
we're slowly getting there.
We're doing it
getting there.
now?
Not now.
Oh.
Slow burn, motherfucker.
Oh, true.
No.
OnlyFans.
So only the third book.
Holy shit. A friend of mine had they were having their housewarming party back on last Saturday. And while we were there, because there's a lot of, so this friend is a combination of a lot of different friend groups. I'm from their disc golf friend group, and then they have like their college friend group, their hometown friend group. But I was in with the disc golf crew, other friends of mine as well. And I guess one of them, it's gonna be weird to like describe all of this, but basically almost all of my disc golf friends are married. Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Oh no. Third wheeling for everyone?
Third wheeling for everybody.
Oh no.
But the husband from one pair, he's like the only other black, like one of the only few other black dudes in the disc golf community, at least the community we're in. There's maybe like 5 of us like in there. So we always hit it off super well. But he and the wife of one of the other couples, I guess he's been like, so the way I heard it, because I learned about it while sitting around a bonfire with them, was he was curious about like why women are so into smut, like erotic novels and shit, and like because his wife reads smut, this other wife reads smut, and I knew exactly what they were talking about because every fucking woman does it for some reason, especially if they're married. But yeah, so we sat around a bonfire and read some smut together.
Really? Like group read?
More or less.
Out
Not a full
loud?
group read out loud. It was just me and him. But I gotta say, fucking steamy. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
A lot of use of the word cock. I think that's the one thing I would say about that author is that
What were they doing to the chickens?
choking them. But like it was a gay scene too. It was like holy shit. Like, but that author has to learn other words than just cock, because it was only cock.
He cocked his cack.
Every time they referred to it, it was cock. It was like, babe, there's
man,
other words you can use.
Cockeyed cocksucker. Like
4
penis.
other words.
Penis, member,
Meat wand.
Okay, I stand corrected. I need about 5 different hands to be
She
able
could have said dick at any point.
Yeah.
Nope, all cocks. At least 15 in like the
Most
8
of the
pages
time,
we
don't they
read.
just avoid using the word like he was thrusting?
No, she seemed pretty happy with using the word. It was
He was thrusting deep inside me, powerfully.
yeah, right. No, like there was no.
I felt his warmth.
What's crazy? There was no actual sex. It was just a hand job and a blow job. And all this happened because emotion spilled over after the death of one of their friends. It's like, so they're having grief sex. Yeah, we finally did it. Yes,
it happened.
it finally happened.
Oh man.
But they're having grief sex or grief foreplay, frottage, whatever the fuck. Smut is a interesting art form. But, yeah. So speaking of light novels, though, did you hear about the artist behind Apothecary Diaries? They're fucking. Did you hear about their tax evasion?
No, I did not hear about their tax evasion.
Oh, apparently they hadn't paid like $300,000.
Hey yo.
Yeah,
They're in jail for sure.
they're not in jail. Luckily, I think she's not. But yeah, she hadn't paid taxes in upwards of like 1 point something or a couple million yen, which works out to like $300,000. I remember it's worked out to $300,000. I don't remember how much in yen, but I remember hearing about it, forgetting it, and then seeing an article come up that said, despite criminal, not criminal allegation, what's the
conviction?
Despite criminal conviction, Apothecary Diaries season 2 will still be happening. I was like, whoa,
that's bold.
What? Yeah, no, apparently this chick has been just not paying her taxes.
Good. I mean, well,
holy shit. I mean, she got caught, so not anymore.
Like at a certain point,
fuck you.
When you start making a certain amount, you gotta be on top of that.
Yeah,
you gotta like our society kind of runs. Well, most societies kind of run, even over in Japan too, based on people putting in their portion.
I guess I'm curious.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought the more you make, the less you give.
No, yeah, that is how it is.
But you
That's
can't just like evade your taxes. You got to get like
the
professionals
loopholes
for that.
You got to get professionals to evade your taxes.
You have to evade your taxes legally.
Exactly.
Okay. All
Pretty
right.
much.
That's quite literally what it is. But yeah, so that was just a really funny thing that came up.
But evading your taxes legally is expensive. So
yes, but she makes the money.
Using the tax money that you would have
Well,
paid
actually,
the
if
government
it's
to pay
the
somebody else
artist,
to
for,
evade
if
the
it's the
government
artist,
for
I
you.
would,
Or author, whatever you would call her. The mind behind Apothecary Diaries.
All right. I hope they'd make Kingz Monday.
I would hope so.
Because I'm saying the animators that animate that shit, they're probably not making much of anything.
I can absolutely see
from my understanding, they're highly exploited.
Right. Oh,
that's a lot like working in video games like 5 years ago. Before 5 years ago. I mean, at the applications I've been looking at, is getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I think because like Amazon and stuff started to get in, and you could go there and be paid like a person. So,
First thing I wanted to bring up. This is from Facebook. I don't know a lot about what is this for? Korean production of McBeth. This is screenshots from Twitter that were posted to Facebook.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the design for these posters. That I put this here just because I knew y'all would appreciate good design.
I've seen it before. I did not clock that it was from McBeth though.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Like this is just like sick design. Like this is just so fucking cool.
Yeah, no, that's sweet.
That is a fantastic way to incorporate like imagery from the play into the poster itself.
Was it his wife or his mother that instigated McBeth? It was his wife, right?
It might be. Some reason I immediately thought mother.
Well, I was thinking mother as well, but then I remember
it might be his wife. I think it was his wife who was like
out scene. Who instigated?
I want to watch it though.
Same.
Is it like going on, like being recorded, or is this just like a live performance thing?
I don't know. This just said Korean stage production of McBeth, so it looks like it's
by his wife, Lady Macbeth and the Witches.
Okay.
So that's why this vibe is. I was like, because literally I was sitting here, I was like, man, these are great, except for the sexual tension between them, because like that, I'm pretty sure it's his mom.
Fair.
But no, it's his wife.
It's his wife, Lady Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's running now through the 18th of August, so maybe it's being recorded. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it because I actually would like to see this.
We need plane tickets.
Plane tickets. Let's do it. Trip to Korea. Kingz After Dark. Go to Korea.
I would love to go to Korea, very temporarily.
Yeah.
No. We're moving there permanently. Never coming back.
Well, I hear like the culture in Korea is just not great.
Not it, fam. Yeah.
Yeah, especially around like beauty standards.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Probably. No, I think I would look into seeing if this is a real thing. But just these posters are so sick.
Mm-hmm.
These posters are so good. Like this is the stuff design students need to like strive for.
Great use of,
and they're so simple too.
Yeah, great use of positive and negative.
Yeah.
space,
right?
The splash of color,
right,
with the red curtain.
It's so fucking good.
Like I remember reading one. I'm still in the beauty standards thing.
That's
I remember reading.
Thank you for reminding us.
A Korean webcomic that the whole thing was this guy when he goes to sleep, he's ugly and fat, and when he wakes up, he's really he just wakes up one day and he's like real fucking hot. And so he's living this dual life. And the central message of that comic is that it's just real nice to be hot. It's just really fucking cool to be hot.
Are they wrong, though?
I don't know that they are.
They're not wrong.
But usually...
Is someone living the fat life?
Usually there's
the bigger issue is that they're not wrong. That's the problem. It's not... They're saying the quiet part out loud is what's going on.
Yeah. Well, usually there's a message of like,
it's not what outside that matters. It's what's inside that counts.
What's inside, or like if you want our next change in your life, it takes effort, or like something along those
this comic's like fucking pretty privilege is for real, bitches.
Honestly, that is what I get from a lot of like media that has that kind of vibe to it, where like shows or comics or something where it's like the MC is, this happens a lot. I think like there's a couple anime that's out right now that like has the MC like in real life, they're like this bigger, like very neat type, person that doesn't
NEET, not NEAT.
NEET, that doesn't interact with anybody to themselves, right? And
introverts.
Yeah.
This is essentially just introvert. The caricature of an introverted nerd.
Yeah. But then it's like all of a sudden they go into this new world somehow, whether it's a dream, whether it's like a door that they find in this random abandoned house, et cetera, or they just get portaled into a whole nother world, isekai instantly.
Right.
I mean, all of everything you've described is an isekai, but anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're just entirely different. They're hot now. They get all the powers, or they get all the girls, whatever the situation is, whether it's like a video game level up kind of, story, or just a social slice of life story.
Yeah.
Right? It always seems to be like, if you're hot, you will get all this attention. And of course that comes with its own problems. Sure. It still feels that no matter what the intention is behind that message at the end of the show.
I think my favorite part is that those problems are usually, it turns you into a douchebag. Yeah. They're like, the problems are usually brought upon by themselves.
Like power corrupting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the point of a lot of those stories, right? Is they're fantasies.
Right.
They're fantasies. They're, you might feel like you're struggling in life, but you definitely have the capacity to do great things. You would have to die. But it's the opportunity to attain everything you've ever wanted, right? To have great power, be able to next change, to have sex.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
You just can't be fat or nerdy.
Or wear glasses.
Or I guess Richard, and then the other aspect of it is usually when you're telling a story about somebody who's gone to another world and you want the narrative to focus on going to another world, it helps if they don't have any lingering connection to the world that they were in before.
Yeah.
And so they are somebody who's shut themselves off from society, or who their whole family died, or so typically... Yeah, unless your narrative is centered around returning, right, and around like finding a way to return to your original, which oftentimes just doesn't make sense because the life that people end up living in the new world is just
leagues better than whatever the fuck they got going on at home.
And so,
about the only ones I know of that they do return. The returning was never the goal. It was more like they return because it's like, yeah, I got fucking family at home. I can't be here the rest of my life. People are worried about me. I got school tomorrow.
I can't miss the test.
They don't. It's never about cutting off that world to go back to the old one. It just melds into going back and forth between the two. My immediate thought always goes to Inuyasha.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Because Inuyasha is she gets Kagome gets Is it Kagome or Kikyo? Which one is
Kagome.
Kagome
I'm pretty
is
sure it's
the
Kagome.
new one.
Yeah.
She's the reincarnation. She gets isekai'd into Inuyasha's world. And then I forget how long. It doesn't take very long for her to like figure out she can go back and forth. But that's like the whole conflict is just, no, not the whole conflict, but the whole bit of it is that she goes back and forth between her world and the past or whatever the fuck it is.
That show pissed me off.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it?
The end of that conversation, I guess.
I can't remember. There's like a lot of like idiot moves, aren't there? Like,
Yeah, well, like there, for me in particular, right? There was a scene where Kagome, I think, if I remember correctly, it was Kagome.
Probably.
And she was simping so hard that she was like, I don't care if you never loves me, just to have the chance to be by your side. I'm going to do this thing. It was either she was either like risking her life or deciding to just like be a fucking simp forever or anything like that. And like anytime I hit that in a narrative, it's a real hard stop for me.
who was she simping for?
I think it was Inuyasha.
Yeah.
I don't recall her simping for any. I think like there's definitely like the love
Somebody
play
was
eventually.
simping for. Look, it was years ago,
Okay.
but like somebody was simping real hard.
If she ever did that, I feel like that would have been much late, like near the end of the show.
Nah,
Because it wouldn't have happened in the middle. She was never like that for Inuyasha.
it's like
that I
halfway
recall.
through.
Yeah, I don't think it was Inuyasha then. There was a few.
Maybe it was
Simp.
Kikyo or something. I don't.
It might have been Kikyo. I think
'Cause-
Kikyo would have had those feelings. I don't know. I don't recall them ever playing it up like that, but maybe.
They were on this gorge. I don't remember the. I would have to rewatch the series to find the specific scene, but yeah.
All right,
there was-
rewatching Inuyasha.
I do kind of remember there being something very like tedious and drawn out about Kikyo being like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's vague, but it's back there somewhere.
It's back
Yeah.
in there. Like it's one of those. It was one of those shows. Like one of the first anime I started watching that wasn't called Dragon Ball Z. Like
Is
so
it-
that's
is-
from my childhood.
is it- Is it worth? I haven't seen it.
Honestly, I don't remember. I would say yes to give it a shot, but I haven't watched it in so fucking long that I don't remember.
I'd give
I
it
remember
like a-
not minding it and then hating it.
I remember it having one of my favorite songs of all time as a closing theme. So that's the biggest takeaway from it that I remember.
You're too easily impressed.
We're going to listen to the song and you're going to tell me how easily impressed I am. I am rather easily impressed, but the song was a fucking banger.
Banger songs are banger songs.
Banger songs are banger songs. But yeah,
Banger songs? I don't like that joke.
you tried, but
No, I didn't try that hard.
You did.
Let's be honest. I
you
didn't try
didn't.
that.
You didn't try that hard. All right, next piece. Did either one of y'all see this?
I saw the
Yeah,
news.
I heard it.
So y'all know the news. I don't have to play the video.
I didn't see the video, but I heard or saw the headlines and heard the news.
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually see the video in which it was announced. But
Yeah. So Robert Downey Jr. will be joining back up with Marvel Studios and playing Dr. Doom
which is
in Avengers Doomsday.
I can't wait
Crazy.
when they tie that through to the multiverse. You have to let that clip play because that's a really good clip.
Yeah, do you think they're gonna make it like he's Iron Man from a different universe or something?
So there is a storyline that does that.
Oh yeah,
There
There is
In
a
the comics, for
multiverse
real?
story. Yes, there's a multiverse storyline in which in a multiverse, instead of Victor Von Doom rooming with Richard Reed Richards in college, he rooms with Tony Stark instead. And at some point, so I learned all of this from Comics Explained, by the way. Fucking fantastic comic book based YouTuber. And I actually learned it because like that's how I learned that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be playing this, because he did a video about it. So in that alternate universe, Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark room together. Eventually, Victor Von Doom tricks Tony into swapping their bodies and consciousness, and hilarity ensues.
you mean the death of a world?
More or less, yeah. But yeah, you wind up getting both of them making basically their own version of Iron Man suit with like Doctor Doom influences and kind of shit. So the theory right now is that they're going to be playing off that multiverse and pulling that into the MCU.
Okay.
So it's going to be really interesting. Or they could just straight up be pulling Robert Downey Jr. in to just play Victor Von Doom, because why not? But
They could do that.
We'll see.
Don't have to explain why.
That is a possibility.
That is a possibility. It feels like such a missed opportunity.
It will be a missed opportunity if they don't.
Oh,
I get the feeling that they probably will be doing that, like though, because they've already opened the door for multiversal bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't.
Even though
make sense.
We won't be getting King the Conqueror at this point. Thanks. What's his name?
Jonathan Majors.
Mm-hmm. You and your fucking woman troubles.
What happened? I missed this.
Oh, just possible DV. That's a whole thing.
I don't know what that means.
But he's been domestic
violator.
Close enough.
Yeah.
That wasn't funny.
It kind of was, actually. It was kind of funny.
Trying to dance around the word, but I'm like, okay, what other word can we put there?
Domestic hitting upon.
Yes. Wait, no.
No. I did a hit.
See, I thought of that as like actually hitting on someone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, that doesn't really work either.
We're gonna move past this.
Yeah.
Anyway, King the Conqueror has been dropped from the MCU more or less, and so stepping in, they're rearranging it to be Doctor Doom, which is gonna be fucking sick either way. Which would probably have happened anyway, because King the Conqueror has a lot of crossover with Doctor Doom. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like they're just really fast tracking this to here. So it's going to be interesting to find out what angle they're going to play with this. The reveal itself was pretty sick. Yeah. Like, you just have, that's right. I can't seek bar this shit. I fucking hate it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hate it so much. Damn it. Oh, this joke. No audio, and I know exactly what the joke is. Knock, knock, Dad? No. That joke is fucking phenomenal. But yeah, just having Robert Downey Jr. on stage at Comic-Con and just bringing him out to the fucking crowd and letting him be Robert Downey Jr. Mm-hmm. That was a pretty sick moment.
I really just didn't care
about
the whole thing.
What whole thing?
Robert Downey Jr. being announced to be back in the MCU.
No, that's fair.
That's fair.
Like, I didn't know if you were saying you didn't care about the whole MCU. You didn't care about.
Well, the MCU's really fallen off pretty hard, but
it has
ever since Endgame.
Like, this is
been Endgame.
The announcement here was more interesting to me than the movie itself. Or like him walking out was more interesting to me than the movie itself.
Very Iron Man.
It is very
not
Iron
Man. The fucking Attack on Titan jacket.
Right?
Popping up in the camera.
Oh, man. But yeah, like, I think that's still pretty sick.
He gets to play Metal Boy 2.
I'm very interested to see what that performance is going to be like.
His jacket sleeves are way too short.
Yeah, the rest of the jacket is way too big at the same time.
Like, did comic explain, like, kind of go over like his personality, but maybe, or like how Iron Man Doctor Doom is different or similar to the space Doctor Doom that we know? He
does go over it, yeah.
Okay.
He goes really over the whole what if comic scenario.
Okay. I'm just curious,
I don't know if it was a what if necessarily, but he does go over he basically goes over the whole story of how that goes down.
Okay.
And what happens there. I believe by the end of it, Tony Stark and Victor Von Doom's body gets this is the confusing part because they're swapped consciousness. So it's always fun of like which one do you refer to them as. But Tony Stark gets Victor Von Doom put in jail. And even though like Victor Von Doom like tells him that he could swap them back if he like saves them, he's like, why would I want to do that? You've ruined the name of like Tony Stark. Like, and it's, you have to like either read the story or watch the video. As a matter of fact, I'll link the video down in the description.
Yeah.
But it's a really good watch through. And if you haven't watched Comics Explained, you really should. Dude's so good.
I've seen some of those videos too. They are good.
He's the main reason I might want to start. Like, if I ever did do like a recap channel, that's I would try to emulate his.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I didn't know all of us watched him, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I watch him every once in a while. He's a seldom watch for me, but every time you have him on upstairs, I really enjoy it. I think
Fair
it's
enough.
very good.
Hell yeah.
Well, mostly because I like to consume the media directly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
and
fair.
so like those recap, even though I think it's really well done, I think it's really good. The recap stuff is just not.
If it's something you want to consume directly, then I get the same way with video games. Even I don't watch Let's Plays of video games I care to play.
Yeah.
Like it is not for sake of spoiler or anything. It's just I would rather be playing it than watching it. So,
well, a lot of the video games I watch, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like if I watch people playing fucking God, what is it called? No, it's not Beaverton. Timberborn.
Oh yeah. Games like that is a different case in my opinion.
Or it's like Minecraft,
like Colony Manager, like Polybridge.
Because it's I guess to clarify, games that have a story that have a clear start to end progression. Those are games that I don't really and especially if they're new. Like obviously I watch Game Grumps play Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and all that shit, but those were years after I had already played them. But stuff like Minecraft's, I don't really watch a lot of Stardew Valley, but every once in a while I'll watch like challenge runs or something. 2D Minecraft, Terraria.
Oh yeah.
I watch Terraria. Any open-ended games like that, I'll definitely watch people play because it's interesting to see like kind of how they.
Pokemon games too.
I do not watch Pokemon.
Really?
I do not watch the only Pokemon. This is the weird duality of me.
Yeah.
The only real Pokemon content I watch is usually Fakemon stuff and like Pokemon like theory crafting videos. I have other than like speed runners, and even then I don't really watch it. That they're not the most interesting speed runs in my opinion. I do not watch a lot of Pokemon Let's Plays because and it's only because of Pokemon. It's only Pokemon that I have the worst case of backseat gaming. I cannot handle watching people play Pokemon.
I can see
if
it
they're
right now.
not good at it.
Ruben's like, why the fuck did you?
Why would you do that? What are you doing?
You're fucking up the. You should have used that move.
Yeah.
That Pokemon's right over there.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, no, I have such a hard time with that, and I don't know why. Specifically Pokemon.
No, I know why exactly. You don't have to explain why. I understand maybe why you don't know why, but
yeah,
I think I know
why. Why? What's the reason?
Because you love Pokemon so much.
I mean, that is true.
And you spend pretty much your whole life playing those games.
So the reason I say I don't know why is because I also love Zelda. Like, I put Zelda over Pokemon any fucking day. But I don't have this same feeling with Zelda unless Aaron's playing. Aaron Egoraptor is the one guy that can get me to turn off a fucking Zelda Let's Play. But honestly, that's only because when he used to complain super heavy about it while he was playing. Because he'd be like, Aaron, you cannot complain about this shit if you're not going to read the fucking prompts and like all of the tutorial shit that is trying to teach you how to do it. It's like
you wouldn't want to see me play most games probably.
Well, here's what makes the difference, right? Are you going to complain about the game and call it a piece of shit game?
Oh yeah, no, probably
that's the difference.
Okay. Yeah, those people are annoying for sure.
Yeah, like don't. But that was also Aaron's brand for a while. That was his whole deal. But yeah, it's like with Pokemon, I don't know why I care so damn much about it. But yeah, it's like, cause yeah, I know I love Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon fucking over 25 years now.
Would you say you're more knowledgeable about Pokemon than
Not
you
quite.
are Zelda
Easily.
stuff?
Easily.
That could be a reason
that's
too.
probably also why there's a lot more to be knowledgeable on when it comes to Pokemon compared to like Zelda. Because there's so much more moving pieces with the Pokemon games than Zelda has. But yeah.
Interesting.
It's an interesting phenomena that is my brain. But
My brain.
my brain. How the fuck did I get here? I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Oh, but yeah, no, it's always hard to see somebody suck at something that you've achieved a high degree of excellence in.
Yeah, that is the hard part.
What's next, bitches?
All right. Let's jump into some Reddit. Last of my bullshit here. I think that's the last of my bullshit. No, I do have a few more things.
Stuff.
I do have a few more things. That's right.
You got a lot of bullshit.
I do have a lot of bullshit. Do I want to do the Reddit stuff?
Do we want to do that before we?
I think I do want to do this before the Reddit stuff. I just completely forgot I had it.
It usually takes a second.
It does.
Do we got audio?
Oh, you know what? This ties in with Reddit. I don't have to play this. I don't have to play this because this ties in with Reddit. The only thing you got to know about this video is this is a fucking weird daisy chain of sharing because she is about to play a clip in which that clip is a podcast that gets their shit from fucking Reddit. And I don't even think they get it directly from Reddit. They hear about it, which links back to a Reddit. Basically, this video is what led me to this Reddit.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So
what the hell?
I will tell you
who's gonna read this.
I will tell you the backstory of the video first, because this is slightly different. So basically in this video, they talk about how there was once a woman who had orgasms, not an orgasm, just orgasms back to back for 72 straight hours.
Whoa.
72 straight hours she was having orgasms. Why it took 3 fucking days for her to decide that this was a problem, I don't understand.
No, I think I get it.
No, I like orgasms as much as the next person. I'm sure people love orgasms. Fucking, I doing an orgasm longer than an hour is already too much.
I was gonna say, after a good, I would imagine,
right?
Even 30 minutes.
That's probably too much.
Like back to back to back. I'm thinking back to
back to back. That's because that's what essentially is happening.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, fine. He's like, I have back-to-back orgasms every day.
Get used to it.
He's like, light work.
That's fucking light work. Either way,
I'm doing it right now.
Hello, Dildonic, baby.
He's like, I'm doing it right now. I've just gotten used to not reacting.
But yeah, after 3 days of this bullshit, she finally goes to the doctors, where they discover
3 days is wild.
3 days is crazy fucking work.
Why is you even not looking down there?
That's the next question. This is we'll get to all of this in a moment, right? She goes to the doctors where they discover that she has maggots in her vagina. And why does she have maggots in her vagina? Well,
oh no.
Apparently, her and her partner didn't have lube. So as a replacement, they used Mayo.
No.
And so this is where it comes from. I'll read it. This looks like it's coming from
the last part of that.
Yeah. This looks like possibly Twitter, but it's not got
old
the whatever. It's like old Twitter. Yeah, it could be. Because I've heard this. Anyway, so not safe for work. There's a girl who goes to the university in my city who used mayonnaise as lube and started having orgasms in the lecture hall. And she was taken to hospital, and turns out there were maggots inside her vagina that were giving her orgasms. Ha ha ha. God help this country.
Oh.
I don't think that's really indicative of anything on a national scale.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is literally a niche.
I don't think we're struggling with the national vaginal maggot.
That's not endemic of a societal problem.
Mayonnaise has protein in it. You need
I
to
think
refrigerate your protein.
This one is quite firmly.
And mayonnaise is also an instrument.
So
So maybe
Is
that's
that
what,
in here?
That's
Is
what
that in
time
here?
they were on.
Oh no, I think it might have been. It might have been on the Facebook one. I forget where, but that is in one of these comments.
They were on that time, you know. They knew mayonnaise
Yeah.
was an instrument, and so they used the
How
instrument.
the fly get in there?
So
A fly gotta lay eggs in there to eat it.
so here's where we get into the.
How?
This is clearly internet like folklore.
Okay,
Like this is
okay,
not
okay,
real.
okay.
Because there's a lot of things about this story that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right.
Firstly, as someone rightfully points out, so if y'all didn't notice, this Reddit post is coming from r/BadWomensAnatomy. It technically shouldn't be here, but it works well enough here. BadWomensAnatomy is usually about art, but
Misogyny was that
I couldn't
tag?
begin to tell you. I do not peruse this enough. Even people down in the comments are like, this shouldn't be here.
The
But,
name under that Bad Woman's Anatomy at the top. Aston Cocking.
Aston cocking. But so here's where luckily this might all be fucking fake, because apparently this story's been circulating for a long time and it just kind of gets warped into different stories.
Creepy pasta shit.
Copy pasta type shit. Yeah.
Copy pasta.
I guess it is creepy. Right? Creepy pasta.
Creepy copy pasta.
Right? Because it's like, well, one, Mayo, that was your first thought? That was the lube of choice? You jumped over soap, you jumped over water, you jumped over good old spit, like the fucking classic right there. The hot tool. Someone literally says they jumped over the good old hot tool. like you jumped over all of that to go straight to Mayo, because that's not a you tried a couple things and you landed on Mayo. No, you had to jump straight to
That was
Mayo.
a deliberate decision.
That's a deliberate
You know what would
choice.
work?
Mayonnaise. You know, we have these packets from Subway.
I
They've
wasn't
just been sitting in the drawer.
in my mind. I imagined them
I
going
love
down,
AI
grabbing
over-
a
No,
jar,
that's what I first,
twisting it.
as far.
No, see if it was,
You didn't need to do that. You just didn't need to do that,
you're
bro.
gonna have to blur that.
Yeah, wait, no, wait.
Well, wait, hold on.
Wait, cut this
OnlyFans.
clip out. OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Yes. Yeah, put the OnlyFans logo on
Subscribe
top
to our
of that.
OnlyFans and see Kenton fuck a jar of Mayo.
Photoshop, like
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Premiere a jar of mayonnaise on top of my hand.
Alyssa, we see you watching too.
If she's watching it, I'm sorry.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Izzy?
I don't know.
Fair. But yeah, so it's like Mayo as a choice is already crazy enough. But then it's like, okay, even if we land on Mayo,
Here's the
fucking-
thing. Mayo isn't that crazy though.
I mean, as a lubricant, no, but
I think eggs and oil in the vagina is a crazy.
Look, because
It's the fact that there are other things that I know I would think of before
I
mayonnaise.
jump on Mayo.
just like regular food oil is
Like-
a safe lubricant to use.
like mechanically it makes
Yeah,
sense.
food. Okay, you're right. Food oil's fine.
And mayo
I'm
is
also fine
not
with,
that
like-
far removed from food oil.
It's far enough removed.
I would never
Bleach
use
is not
it.
that far removed from fucking water, but I'm not gonna goddamn
Bleach
drink
is
it.
pretty far removed from water.
Bleach is pretty fucking. I don't know. I don't know the chemical composition.
I mean,
of
I
it's
bleach.
only
a
watched
liquid.
100
Well, granted,
episodes.
most
Liquid.
bleach is only like 2%, but it's still got some.
See,
in
it's
there.
98% water, isn't it? Not that fucking far. No. The point
But that
being
2%
is really
pretty
important. The point being is there's some other options before you get to Mayo,
like olive oil.
like olive oil, vegetable oil.
See, I would think of mayo before oil. That's just me.
That's because you're stupid. There's no other way to say it.
Now, this from the man who just said Mayo's not the craziest thing.
Well, that's because immediately my brain was like, well, you could use olive oil as a sexual lubricant, and mayo is literally made of olive oil
Yeah.
and eggs. The additional protein's like kind of wild. I would have hoped they would be using it anally. Vaginally, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
vaginal.
think it would be great, but it's like it's not. It's just an oil derivative. It's just like I could see the stupid thoughts.
You like-
I could see the like the chain that
Raw
led somebody to be
eggs.
like, I'll
just
put it in my
raw eggs. Just raw egg as a lubricant.
Oh my
crack an
god.
egg.
No, I mean mayo is basically.
I know it is. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
raw egg mixed in almost fighting oil. more or less, with some like MSG and other flavorings.
Exact stimulus, but yeah, no.
But
I'd go soap first.
the point being is that
Soap.
there's other options you could have went to before mayo.
It's pretty fucking good.
No, soap
Burn
is
to
a terrible.
high heaven.
Soap is a fucking terrible lubricant. But this is a story in which we wind up with maggots in the fucking vagina. So if we're going down the option of you just don't know that certain things
I
are bad to
prefer
put down there.
chemical burns.
Yeah. Like you would think they would try soap first. They would try lotion first. They would try something before they got to mayo, but they got to mayo first, I would assume. The second thing,
which means that they probably have done it before. Maybe
that's the scary part.
They tried sand last time.
We tried sand, it just wouldn't stay on though.
Do we have any more sandpaper? No.
No.
Shit, I used the last of it this morning. Fuck.
Damn. Fucking so
Speaking of smut, I think that's like a famous like fan fiction thing.
fucking oh my god,
Wait,
what was
what?
it? I want to say it was a Snape X something fanfic.
Really?
And they used something real wild. It wasn't, I don't think it was sand.
I know the one that I'm talking about was specifically sand.
Okay, then I think it is this one where they used sand as a lube. And that's when I realized people got some wild fetishes in the fucking world because it's like,
It's all fantasy, dude.
I mean, it's all
Yeah.
fantasy, but still.
But you still have to think about it in a logical sense.
You had to go,
How would that?
this scene needs
I mean-
lube. What can we use as lube in this fictional scene
Like
The opposite
there's
of
of
lube.
lube?
like powders and things act as lubricants, but
Is sand a powder?
sort of. It
No.
would. Okay, so like
It's
again,
granulated rocks,
again,
sure, but it's not powdered.
mechanically,
Shit's fucking glass.
sort of.
Also, I don't know if I would even want powder as a lube, especially in this
No.
gay
What kind of
fanfic.
powder?
it
Wait,
was.
Where are we?
Not as a lube.
I was doing research on mayonnaise as a lubricant.
No, that's your
and
problem.
I
No,
came-
you were seeing that problem over
I
there.
came back to using
Yep,
powder
and
as a
you're-
lube.
and you're gonna deal with it.
Well, what did you find out? I'm
What
curious.
did you find out?
Absolutely nothing.
Also, there's just don't put shit in the vagina that wasn't meant to go in there.
General people on Quora seem to think it's a pretty good idea. People on Reddit
Huh?
seem to think it's pretty stupid.
It's pretty fucking stupid.
So we have factions now.
Raw egg in the vagina is probably not a great idea.
Yeah, nah.
I've been trying to move on to the second point of this for so long.
We're
been
stuck
trying
on the
hard
lube.
enough. Apparently, we're powdering our
So
lube now.
hard.
So
Apparently powder as lube is something that Izzy's cool with.
Well, like, so if you put baby powder on your hands and you slide them together,
yeah.
Sure.
that's like, is that not considered lubricant? Like a
Well, there
lubrication?
are some lubricants that are made of particulates, like molybdenol disulfide.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like usually put in a suspension of some kind. And in the case of
But it's still
moist
something I don't-
orifice,
Right.
Yeah.
But in the case of moist orifices where that moisture is going to cake into the powder and probably create additional friction.
I'm not saying
And
for,
once again, we're talking orifices in which you should not be getting foreign shit in. That's the important bit here.
and I'm not saying it makes total sense. I'm just saying that it's close enough that you might be able to see where people are coming from.
I
I don't know. I think
I
you just
don't
need
know.
to sprinkle some flour on that shit. Turn that shit into
just
a bakery.
yeah, so I stuck my dick in some flour and cornstarch.
Bake the nice cake.
baked
I
her
deep
cake.
fried my cock for my girlfriend. Baby batter.
This was a mistake. This was such a fucking mistake.
Good topic.
But
So
we
guys,
landed on Mayo.
a girl who went to the university in my school, right, started having successive orgasms in her class.
Uh-huh.
Right, it was crazy, and she went to the hospital, and it turned out she had breaded and deep fried her coochie, and maggots were eating it. She wanted to make a snack for her man, so she roasted her roast beef. That's crazy.
But hey, I'm sure that eat out session was fantastic.
Crunchy.
Crunchy pussy.
Even my fat ass is not about it. So we land on Mayo as lube.
Yeah.
Now, Fluff said the important bit here. and people in the comments fucking mention it as well. Fly larvae do not just spontaneously like form because of spoiled food.
Or you sitting out bare Koji in the sunshine, you sunning your perineum, and the flies come on. You're just like, that's fine,
right? Like,
fun fact, that's how people used to think.
People
flies.
used to believe that. Yeah, they used to believe that rotting meat is where flies came from.
Yeah,
interesting.
Because like all of a sudden they would just like see larvae on the meat. And it was like, no, that's because flies are landing in
spontaneous generation theory.
Yeah. It's like, that's not how that works. So like either the fucking Mayo would have already had to have been rancid and infested with maggots, or someone didn't think this fucking stupid ass story all the way through.
Or
oh no,
I don't know. You fell asleep and there was a fly in the room.
I guess that's also possible.
Or she'd always just flashing her shit.
She never showered.
Legs.
Because then there's the other part where for 3 straight days.
Yeah, no, that's
she just
implied because the maggots would need something to eat. So then it just no cleaning happened.
Yeah, and she just didn't clean because why would you do that? Not that you're supposed to like douche the inside of the vagina. So I've heard you don't do that.
Generally,
the vagina is self-cleaning.
The vagina is self-cleaning.
If you got mayo in it, you probably should. But
I mean, you're probably asking for a yeast infection. I'm actually not sure if oil lubricants are like medically like recommended or not recommended, though generally I think you want to stick to
believe you want to do water-based, generally speaking.
And the other thing is a lot of condoms will get dissolved by oil.
In oils,
lube.
yes.
So you generally if
the point is to not have a baby, you should probably not be using oil or like baby oil. Like do not use baby oil as a lubricant.
Now if you're butt fucking,
go right ahead.
It might help with the pooping too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Just lube your poop shoot. I'm scrapping this whole segment. This whole segment's going off.
This whole segment's gold. Either this stays in or we make this Patreon.
This might be Patreon only. This might not stay on YouTube.
Why you don't let you saying the phrase "lube the poop shoot" to just be out there in public?
I think YouTube won't allow it to be out there. We'll
just
see.
Bleep it.
Just bleep the whole segment.
Or we just talking about it. Just
or we just find the right sponsor.
Just a fucking 25-minute long bleep.
Just leave the inhales.
And then just one out of context clip.
The breath and the laughter.
Yeah. We couldn't talk about the rest of it. Sorry, y'all. YouTube had a real problem with us talking about it. Yeah, no, I am fairly certain this story is fake as shit. There's too much. There's too many bits of this was 4 years old, by the way. Holy shit, didn't even notice that. This version of it was just 4 years old. It was around for years before that, according to some comments. And it led to something called Blowfly Girl, and I did not look that up, and I don't want to.
That's like voluntary maggot doing.
Definitely. I remember reading something about a girl who would purposefully put maggots up her vagina and let them fester until her parents discovered her and then sent her to the ER. And that's about all of that story I need to know. Blowfly Girl. So any brave souls out there, you go look that up and then tell us in the comment what it was about.
Or don't.
And how you feel about it. We need the engagement.
Do or don't.
Do or don't. You know? We're not your dads. 5
stars. Like, comment,
subscribe.
Leave the comment. Or subscribe.
Or just that does also help. In lieu of subscribing. No, subscribe. In lieu of commenting. Lube the subscribe shoot.
Wait, what are you saying? Lube and subscribe?
There's a song.
I tried to say in lieu, but we lost it. In lieu of commenting, share this podcast instead with some people that you not this episode. Maybe not this episode. Go find a different episode.
Timestamp this episode and share it with all your
favorite
friends.
moment of this raunchy ass segment and share that everywhere you can. Kingz After Dark podcast. This is the shit we talk about.
Get us all canceled.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm reading it right now.
Blowfly girl?
Yeah.
Of course you are. While you read that, we're going to move on to the next segment. So then when you come back from that, we're going to be so far away from it. It's going to make
then get
no
drawn back
sense.
into it after. Yep.
I don't know. I've never heard of this word, but
I'm trying to figure that out too.
I don't remember if I even how I kind of felt about this one, but this is an Am I the Asshole? Am I the Asshole? I asked my daughter's Deipnophobic boyfriend. He doesn't like, he has a phobia.
Diet?
He has a phobia of eating in front of people.
Oh.
I did read the story.
Interesting. I never heard of that.
I'm not going to read that.
Oh, no, too late, bitch. Read it.
You can't make me.
You're right. I can't make you. I can deeply shame you for it, though.
You know what? You convinced me.
So my daughter has been dating this guy for a couple months. One day he was going to hang out. He was going to hang out and watch movies and have pizza. We ordered pizza extra to ensure we had enough for him. And as soon as I got home with it, he walked out without even saying goodbye, which we thought was rude. On another occasion, we invited him to a restaurant to celebrate a special event for my daughter. He ordered food but didn't eat and spent most of the dinner in the bathroom. Finally, we spent the day out with him along and stopped for food. We were all famished. I encouraged him to order something, my treat, along with anyone else, and he refused. Then he just sat there awkwardly watching everyone eat. It made me very uncomfortable because I don't like people watching me eat. I told my daughter that I think he's been pretty rude, but she likes him, so she thinks his behavior is no big deal. A little while later, my daughter informs us that he has an issue eating in front of people. So I say, well, that's fine, but then he doesn't need to hang around at mealtimes because it makes me uncomfortable eating in front of someone that isn't eating with us. Now my daughter is mad that I'm discriminating against his disability, and I wouldn't treat someone else like that if they have a disability. Am I the asshole for not wanting him around at mealtime? Thoughts?
That's
dumb.
She has a phobia of people not eating, watching her eat.
Right. Can you elaborate?
I just think that, look, I get if there was some sort of reaction he was having, right, where some sort of action that he was taking in reaction to his emotions that were putting everybody in a real shitty or uncomfortable situation, but he's just not eating. That's all he's doing, and he's basically dealing with his shit by excluding himself from what everybody else is doing, right? Which I think is actually extremely respectful given the situation. And to then ban him from all meal times, which he probably doesn't even want to be in the first place. He's probably being there so he can participate with you guys in the social setting, not because he wants to be there, to just be well, then he's not allowed around when we're eating, I think is pretty dumb.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the way that this is written out, it makes it seem like he doesn't do or say or engage at all. And I don't know, it makes him feel like he's super, by himself whenever they're around. He doesn't talk to them, he doesn't say nothing. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this. Maybe that's not the case. If, like Fluff said, if his only problem is that he's just not eating, then yeah, that's pretty extreme to ban him. Especially if he's talking, having conversation, personable like that. And the only problem is he's just not eating. Then yeah, I feel like you are the asshole in this situation for feeling that you need to ban him because he's not eating. But if he is kind of to himself, he doesn't talk much, doesn't engage, I guess I get it. But the thinking there isn't, I need to ban him. I think it's more a conversation needs to be had to figure out the best way to communicate with him and to figure out what works best for y'all. Right. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe that I'm feeling.
Fair. So I kind of read this, and my initial thoughts just based on the way they write this is, you seem a little stuffy.
Yeah.
The OP seems a little stuffy, but looking beyond that at the scenarios, and this is before getting into stuff that was commented later on in new context, right? I at first I thought it was really weird to be the fact it's a little weird because I thought about it kind of in reverse order. Him being at the dinner table around food and not eating, I was like, that's okay. Whatever. Some people just don't want to eat. Now, right here, it's not just him at the table. I don't like people watching him at the food. It's not that line. Basically, he sits at the table and he doesn't really say anything. He just watches people, according to the OP. In a comment later on, she says it's legitimately him just staring at you. And like, because everyone's eating, no one's really talking. It's one of those like, once food is present, everyone kind of digs into their food and just eats kind of situation. Now, the pizza deal, the just up, out, not even a single goodbye.
Yeah, sucks.
That's terrible. That's just rude behavior.
Yeah.
But okay, maybe that's a first time deal. Nerves, doesn't know how else to deal with it later on type shit. The restaurant, the restaurant and the going out for food things, those are harder for me to pinpoint how I really feel about them.
Well, I feels like he mishandled the situation because he didn't know what to do. Realistically, he should have communicated what was going on.
The pizza or the restaurant?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both, I think. Right, where he ordered food and then doesn't eat it and then like goes to the bathroom because he's uncomfortable.
Right.
He should have been more upfront about what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
Or like, does he want to eat? Like, can he like eat in the car or something by himself, and then he can eat, and you don't have to deal with him staring at you?
I get to me, if we're hitting that point, I think just scheduling it so that he doesn't have to be there for the mealtime. I will say, I think this person's wording of it is fucking terrible, but I don't hate their idea. I think then let's start scheduling so that he doesn't have to be around at mealtime. You actually said this a second ago, that this might even be a best deal for him as well. Of maybe let's just not like, clearly eating around people is not his deal.
Yeah.
And that creates a weird situation. Now in the comments, and this is where I kind of like, there's this weird whataboutism that started going on of like, well, you're uncomfortable because he's uncomfortable, so doesn't that make you a hypocrite? And it's like, yeah, maybe, I guess. But this is also this person's house, and this is not their boyfriend. This is their daughter's boyfriend.
My question is like, does he act this way around the daughter?
No idea. No idea.
Only when she puts food in her coochie.
Only when they do the mayonnaise play.
That's the only time he interacts with food in her at once.
I just thought about a mouthful of mayonnaise. And
Don't ruin mayonnaise for me, please. Mayonnaise was not ruined until you made me think about it like that.
All right, we're scrapping Reddit. Reddit is just getting deleted from the internet. But yeah, it's like if
you're trying to create, like, I have 2 thoughts. If you're trying to create a situation that's the most comfortable possible for everybody there, right? Then I think this response makes sense. But if you just don't like him looking at you while you're eating.
Now, personally, I will say this. The comfort I get to feel in my own home, this is discounting the restaurant situation and all that. The comfort of my own home, I get to be comfortable in my own fucking home. And at that point, I cannot fault somebody for going, look, this is making me wildly uncomfortable. And I just don't want him, like, during meal times, if that's his deal, because they don't ban him from the house. Like, he's more than allowed to come over. But it's like, if eating is going to be like this every fucking time, if that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you uncomfortable. Asshole or not, you have all right to say what goes on in your house at dinner time, right? But I don't know. I think you said it best. Is like, this is probably just a conference. This is really the Reddit answer. This is the answer that can answer every fucking Reddit question ever.
Yeah.
Have you talked to the person and got a clear understanding? Now, I will say the daughter's response, if the daughter actually responded this way, that's a little bit assholish on the daughter, because you knew this information.
You didn't tell
didn't share this information, and now you're getting mad that people are making that the OP now has made like
had a reaction
to this lack of information.
Right.
And then using it as if you're discriminating against a disability is like, come the fuck on, bro. Like, even with phobias being disabilities, you cannot you cannot claim discrimination if the disability is not common knowledge.
Right.
Be like, I can't discriminate against a disability I don't know about. But it's, I don't know. Like I said, I think the wording of it is fucking shit. I think that is the worst, but I also think that him not being around for mealtime is actually probably the best solution here. If he's that uncomfortable eating around people and there is no real talking going on at the dinner table and he's just like awkwardly sitting there. Now, whether or not so in another comment, she like this OP, and I keep saying, for whatever reason, I hear this as a mom saying this. I don't know if it's a mom or dad, but they say that he's legitimately just sitting there staring at us. Like, and that's just it because everybody's eating. And it seems like he's just staring. Now, they do say that he's staring at them specifically. And that's where it's like, don't know how reliable this narrator is going to be. But assuming that's true, then it's like, you know what? Yeah, that's awkward and weird and uncomfortable. And I think that's not the craziest ass to go. Maybe we have him around for non-meal times. And meal times we leave for just us.
Or maybe even still there's a conversation that could be how you
could just have the conversation and go.
And it's like, when we do eat something, like, I don't know, if you're comfortable being in another room.
You want to go chill in the living room while we eat? Like,
yeah, like,
or take like you and my daughter go chill in the living room and go eat.
Yeah, if you're comfortable eating in front of the daughter, then okay, y'all can go in the living room and chill, eat together, watch TV, whatever, and have your time. Like, I don't know. I think, I just think the conversation...
just fucking talking to people generally tends to work out a lot of problems. Another thing, and this is that Reddit-ism that happens of assumed information gets taken on as gospel and everybody starts responding with that assumed information as if it's fact. And everybody assumed this dude was a teenager. A lot of people calling the OP an asshole just assumed this kid was a teenager. And they ran with that and people started talking as if that was 100% fact. And it was, and they based all of their argument around this being a teenager. And it's real funny when the OP came back and was like, no, all my children and their significant others are full grown adults. Because their whole argument was this would be one thing if it was an adult, but this is a teenager. It's like, well, who said it's a teenager? Well, you go up like 5 comments in the chain and that person posited that it might be a teenager and everybody below it just took it as like gospel. And it's like,
these are all very teenager situations.
This feels so teenager coded.
It does.
It's extremely teenager coded. It's the paying for stuff. It's the
this feels like
pizza for everybody in the house. It's the daughter living there,
right?
And like having the boyfriend over and then having like the weird stuff happen. It's the lack of social communication between everybody.
Yeah, like this entire scenario feels like produced. Like it feels like written by like a reality TV show.
Another fake scenario?
It's probably. I suspend my disbelief anytime I get on the Reddit. I have more fun listening to what people think of the scenario as presented than I do about whether it's actually real or not. It's so much easier to enjoy Reddit that way. But yeah, this whole scenario is just so odd. And the verdict was everyone sucks. Kind of everyone sucks in this scenario.
Oh, is that what the tag?
That's what the tag is for.
Essentially?
Yeah. So Am I the Asshole will eventually they'll auto tag post after so much. That's what this auto generated comment is for. People vote on this to determine, whether it is or is not an asshole situation or what it is, and then they'll take that, codify it, and turn it into a tag that'll let everyone know what the verdict was.
I like that.
It's very nice. They also summarize the whole thing. It's real nice. Like, Am I the Asshole? I'm fairly certain is one of the, if not the biggest subreddit on Reddit. I think Ask Reddit is definitely, r/Ask Reddit is definitely the biggest one. But Am I the Asshole is probably not far off. Mostly because it generates so much content for podcasts and online videos and shit.
Well, and then people see that and they go to Reddit to watch it. So
right. It's just such an interesting situation that I'm curious how I would deal with it. But I think at the end of the day is like,
I think we would probably
talk to people.
Yeah.
We understand like, hey, yo, are you comfortable doing this? Because if not, you don't have to be around. Like, bro, you don't have to be around here. Like, you can like bounce out, and then you're more than welcome to come back at Beyond Mill. You don't have to be here for us, right?
Especially like if he's an adult, I would feel like you might have this figured out. Like,
right.
Like what
you would hope he'd have it figured out.
I would have a lot less patience for this than an adult.
In an adult, yeah.
Like,
now, because they only say that they're full adults with jobs.
Right.
That could mean 21.
Right.
That could mean 38. That could mean fucking 45 or however old.
18.
The
60.
the older above 20 we go, the less patience I have for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's basically where my feelings fell on that. Because I can understand why people are like, if this is a teenager, like now people are going like, you're traumatizing this kid and you're creating this hostile environment. It's like, sure, but that's also not this person's responsibility.
No, I think they're reading too much in this situation if they're saying something like
They're
that.
to me, that was
But
like,
yeah.
you're reading a little too deep into that. And even if that is the situation, this is not his parents. This is his girlfriend's parents.
Right.
In which you can only ask people so fucking much before.
Because one of the reasons why I reacted the way I did is because the idea of there being a complete ban is giving controlling.
Right.
Right. That's how it feels. So I could see how people could project onto this and turn this into a situation that it's not really, or at least make assumptions that we don't have the information to conclude.
Yeah. Which is all the big thing when it comes to comments on these is like, people like to very much assume information and never like stop to go, we don't actually know this, and creating this is how I would feel if this information is true. Otherwise, this is what my verdict would be. But they really do go, I'm going to assume this piece of information. And now that I've assumed it, that's going to be 100% gospel for me. And I'm going to make my verdict based off that. But you get some people who do the thing that you're supposed to do, which is like ask for info and go, hey, how old are the people in this situation? But people like the knee jerk, and people like to, I mean, it's all entertainment at the end of the day. It's just entertainment, and people are having more or less a very twisted, macabre sort of fun with it. But it is what it is. Am I the Asshole is gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, interesting situation. All right, I think that's it for my bullshit. Oh, one more thing. That's a lie.
No.
Both of y'all would be, if you haven't heard this yet, I think you will love it.
I was gonna say I haven't heard anything Minecraft music since.
Have you? I want to say you have, because I think it was in, I heard it from Etho. So
I haven't listened to the full soundtrack, but I've definitely heard the new records.
the new record, like Precipice, such a good record. Like this song, every day is like, I thought Pig Step was crazy.
Step?
Have you not heard Pig Step? That was out from how many years ago now?
I said he's stupid.
Oh, Fluff's so mean.
He's on that mean shit today.
Why?
Where does this play?
This is one of the tracks you can get from the new
Trial Chambers.
Oh,
So this is a reward.
I would say I don't even know what those are. It's been
Yeah,
so
this
long.
is the new. This is a new update.
It's
This
been
is-
so long since I've even tracked anything Minecraft, y'all.
Right.
It's been years. I don't.
That's
know
why I
what the
figured like
fuck's
you
happening.
probably would. I was like, he would possibly know about it just because how into music you are
Yeah,
when it comes to this kind of stuff.
I haven't heard nothing.
I know Fluff would have probably heard it by now,
Oh yeah.
but like it's just so good by Aaron Sheroff. Trough. But it's a real fucking good song. I've been like fucking vibing to it for about a week now.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
It's such a good song. And it's just kind of crazy how like Pig Step was a departure from the usual like they started branching out to new composers and like getting music from them, and it's been really good. So just a little small aside. This one is not much of a discussion topic.
I don't
no,
want to
that's
make
cool.
my little kid's middle name just 2 dog barks.
Thanks for that. Thanks. We're just gonna move on. We're just gonna move the fuck on.
What? You like the idea of my
What the fuck do you mean?
Are you gonna call them like woof woof or
No,
something?
just like But it has to be like the correct phonetic interpretation. You know how like
And every time someone tries to say woof woof, you gotta be no, that's not how you say it.
It is not
it
arf
can't
arf.
be woof woof, and you can't write like ARF. Like what's the? Because there are vowels that imply like specific inflections. Like because like that's what those symbols mean. So like people would look at it and it would look like some stupid Elon Musk shit.
Yeah,
but it would be
curves on top
pronounced-
of the letters
it
and
would be-
shit.
it would be
Carrots.
pronounced like
umlauts.
Yeah.
ARP.
Yeah, but you can't pronounce it arp arp.
Right,
But you also have to apply like the way that you're using your throat in order to create the buzz.
Yeah, it's got to be like accented A, squiggly line on top of the R, like in Spanish, and then like the P has got to have the
There's probably
Umlaut.
Umlaut on
there's
top
probably
of it.
like an inflection AI that you could bark into, and it would give you.
I'm gonna DM the language guy. The language guy.
All right. Well, look forward to that in the coming future. Fluff's firstborn
Middle name.
getting a real handicap to life.
Well, that's why you make it the middle name. All right, because then when people are like, "Hey, you're gonna guess," no one's ever gonna see that.
But you know, the moment someone finds out, it's over. It's over.
Oh, absolutely.
It's over.
Fun fact about me: my middle name is a dog bark. No, it's not like woof woof. It's not like bow wow. It's literally.
So Fluffy, arf arf. Nope, my bad. Fluffy, arf arf.
Thank
Moderman.
you. Thank you for the correct pronunciation.
There you
I got you.
Don't detonate me. Oh my goodness. I'm so mad that I know the through line that got you to that thought. I'm mad that I could actually see how you got to that thought and I don't even have to ask.
Do you know some people think the Minecraft soundtrack sucks?
I mean, there's people that think a lot of things suck.
I
I'm
thought
not
that it was
shocked.
like universally reviled for a very long time. Because
Really?
all I heard about was people like saying how much they hated it. I have always loved it. I always
Yeah, I
loved
don't
it.
know what people
Yeah.
are on with that.
The only thing I've ever heard was how much people loved it, but it was always from the Minecraft community. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
a little
never-
biased, but
Like,
Never.
what else would you
I mean, personally,
bro step? I don't know.
like I like the Minecraft soundtrack, but generally when I play Minecraft, I'm usually playing other music. So
Well, yeah.
it hit a point where I don't even have sound on in Minecraft. I just turn on the subtitle. It's
True.
the
you
weirdest
you
shit.
can play whatever
what?
you want.
Yeah, so they have the little subtitle thing you can turn on where it'll
for
like
the music?
no, not for the music. I turn the music off.
Oh, well,
I mean, like
I
no,
turned the music off, but
No,
the
I said I
subtitles
turned
on for the music.
What
I'm
I
like,
said was I turned sound off. I don't even play Minecraft with sound
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
Does it give
okay.
you like zombie noises?
Yeah, it tell you like zombie noises, skeleton rattles.
Does it give you like a
and it indicates
Oh, the direction really?
yeah, it just left and right. You have to kind of infer that it's off screen or something from you. But I started doing that because why did I start doing that? I don't know. I just started doing it, and it kind of just became the way I played.
Have you ever heard of audio radar?
I don't think so.
I think that's what it's called. It's like a peripheral for
Yeah.
it goes around your screen. It's for like
Oh.
people hard of hearing.
Oh, okay.
And it gives like it's like surround sound but with like flashing light bars.
Oh, that's sick.
And like the closer it is, like the wider the light.
Yeah, I think I've seen something on it. I forget which games I've seen it in, but I know what you're talking about.
I could absolutely imagine that's like a lot of first person shooters would have that.
Yeah.
But you could use that yourself.
Probably
Just
could.
turn the sound off and then you'd know exactly.
I don't know. I've gotten real used to like just looking at the subtitles, and it's kind of convenient because they're all there in like a little
I
stack.
forgot that was a thing. Subtitles for sound effects is wild. Like,
Yeah.
like to figure out the direction, like the left skeleton rattling.
Well,
like,
it's like most of the time it's like you hear, like it's kind of nice because it will pick up the sound before even you would,
Right.
Yeah.
because it can hear like the super like attenuated version of it.
As soon as it would present in the speaker just a little bit, it picks it up.
It picks it up and it tells you, so I could go like, oh, okay, super off far to my left because I haven't heard it yet until now.
yeah,
like, so it's super far off.
Yeah, it could be very soft too, and you just wouldn't.
And you would just
notice
never
it
hear
otherwise.
it. But
yeah.
because it's a subtitle, it doesn't attenuate. It doesn't make it. It doesn't like gray it out or anything or make it, which would be kind of sick if it like faded the
Oh yeah.
you have to, like,
opacity or
squint
something.
to try to see what it
Right.
was exactly. Like, oh.
But like, so it just became like my usual way to play. Why did I start doing that?
I'm gonna have to try it because like that's always been kind of inconvenient. Like you have to have sound on in survival or you're
right,
gonna die.
or you're gonna die. It's like, yeah, no, the subtitles come in fucking clutch. But yeah, that's my fucking mind goblins. I guess. All right. So our favorite white rapper put out a brand new album the other day. I still gotta listen to it. Yes.
Yeah.
Our second favorite white rapper.
So yeah, I posted a couple things here, and I always want to preface anything with hip hop with, I'm not this big hip hop fan person. I don't really know, a whole bunch of, artists or listen to a whole bunch of their music. Eminem, of course, he's, one of the legends in that genre. And he has a lot of hits that aren't just within that hip hop place. Like he's done, pop stuff and everything. That's how I've really gotten to know him, is his hits that have made like
More mainstream.
Pop 100 or whatever.
Right.
More mainstream stuff, especially back in the day. But I did know of him, of his, Slim Shady,
more accurately,
days.
Slim Shady has crossed over with pop a lot. He would do rap. He would rap on some pop songs. Is more or less what he would do. He himself has not done like, I guess he's done like pop, I guess, but it's like rap pop. It's
I know him more like featuring on other
that kind of stuff,
pop stars' music.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, all like the memes surrounding, Rap God and all this other stuff that has just been mainstream from him, of his hip hop stuff. But I never dove into his music or his albums or anything like that. And I think this Kendrick and Drake, feud kind of got me more into the community just to see what was happening in that world. Which, thanks for bringing me into it, because it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And because I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and stuff of just that whole beef in general, I'm starting to see a lot of, content creators get recommended to me about, other current hip hop stuff going on. And I've started to see a lot of, Screwface Jean's stuff and videos specifically about this new Eminem album. And I've seen a lot of, TikToks using some of his audio from his songs on this album.
I have not had a chance to listen. I've had many chances. That's a lie. I've had a lot of chances to listen to the album. I just haven't yet. And it's been on my docket. I don't know why I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm going to soon. I
mean, yeah, it was not on my docket either to listen to it, because I never really listened to Eminem like that. But just after hearing some of like the bits and pieces of the music that he has in some of these songs on TikTok, and all like people are, doing skits and stuff on top of it, I'm like, oh dang, he actually said that in a song.
Yeah.
Like that's cancelable. I don't know if he can he say that?
So that's the fun backstory of, and I know we're going to get there in a second here.
Yeah.
The fun backstory with Eminem, if most of y'all probably know it, but if you don't know, Marshall Mathers, the guy behind the real name of the guy who is more colloquially known as Eminem, when he first started when he first got like signed, I won't say when he first started in rap, he used to go by B Rabbit when he first started. When he got signed by Dr. Dre into Aftermath Records, he took on the moniker Slim Shady. Slim Shady was a caricature in which his entire brand was being as offensive as possible. And he was this super, like, it is a level of edgy that would be so cringy nowadays if someone tried to do it. But it was from that same era with like ICP was like at their height. Limp Bizkit was still like your main rap rock group, even though they weren't as like shock value as Eminem was, but they were definitely like, they did some stuff like that. But they were much more just edgy than shock value, whereas Slim Shady was shock value edge. And he would just say off the wall shit, and he would like kind of a middle fingers to the world kind of guy, and like, I'm saying whatever I can to like piss everybody off. And to which he would like say that stuff in his songs. And that's who the Slim Shady character was.
Yeah.
But that's just a bit of backstory, because then he kind of transitions away from Slim Shady, becomes Eminem. Eminem is still kind of gritty. He's like less shock value, just more gritty and more like a little just kind of angry at the world, like old man shakes fist at sky type guy. And then for years, then like over time, like he gets clean, like from his drug habits. He's now 11 or 16 years sober, one of the two. 11. He's many years sober right now, which is, congrats to Mr. Mathers on that. But it's been like, there's been a lot of criticisms about his music. And a lot of the main criticisms is that he's so much different than his Slim. Like people are like, they're all like I liked you better during Slim Shady era, pretty much. And that goes a number of ways because it's like, well, who he was at that time is a person he doesn't want to be anymore. Yeah. Because that person had vices that he doesn't want to get back into again. Mm-hmm. And so it's really easy to go, we wish you were more like the old guy, but you got to understand what created the old guy.
I feel like this happens with every music artist.
And it does. I don't like his new stuff. I like as a matter of fact, it becomes like the old joke.
Yeah.
Say it again?
So that happens with the world.
Right. Mm-hmm. I liked it better when it was I like his old stuff better. I don't really like his new stuff, which is just a cliche. But I imagine more of this will get explained in this comment here, which, by the way, you have shared 2 videos. Neither one we're going to fucking watch because they're very long.
No, I wanted to essentially post those just to say, like, I watched these 2 videos and it gave me a lot of really good insight on everything you just said.
Right.
And it seems like Screwface does a good job, at least, understanding what the record was.
So Screwface Jean is a huge Eminem fan.
Yeah.
Like, he is a huge Eminem fan.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely apparent with how he reacts to the whole album all the way through.
And I haven't watched this video yet because I wanted to watch the album first. I wanted to listen to the album first before I watched his reaction to it.
I listened to it as he was listening to it just to kind of, get that reaction because I don't know Eminem like that.
So are you saying you watched this video?
I watched that whole video and the video
Did he do a lot of pausing during the songs?
He did.
That's why I want to listen to it first. Right. Not that that is an issue to me, is that it's easier for me to listen to the song first and then kind of go back, and I like that style more.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
But it's also an hour and 50 some odd minute long video.
It is. It's a long one. I was able to throw it on while I was working today, but it was very interesting hearing him break down like song by song what he was hearing. And he was talking about all of the stuff that he saw on social media from other people talking about it, and how he says that he's seeing a lot of people being like, oh yeah, Slim Shady's back. He's back. We're going to see more of that.
Get excited for that.
Yeah. And he's like,
get excited for this.
He's like, y'all, that's not what this album is. This album is the opposite of that.
This album is letting y'all know to stop.
Yes.
That you are not getting Slim Shady again, and there's a reason for it. Mm-hmm. Which then brings us to the second video you shared. Now that one I did watch this video.
And that was really good.
Good.
I think I saw part of that. No, I saw that whole thing first, actually. And then that got me interested into what the album was. And that's when I watched that video, the hour and 2 hour long video, breaking down the album.
Right. Which, by the way, the album is called The Death of Slim Shady.
Yeah.
Like, I heard one song off of it so far, and it was the single that they put out before the album. And I can't immediately think of what the name of the song is, but it was like essentially a remix of Without Me. I had to think of the title.
Okay,
I literally just had to rap through that song a little bit in my head to get to the title of it. Mm-hmm. But it was like, I don't remember if it's called Without Me 2 or if it's a different title. I think it's a different title. But
something
it might be like called like Houdini or some shit. But
maybe
that's the only song that I've heard fully all the way through so far.
Mm-hmm. Like Screwface does a good job kind of breaking down like, oh, this is like when he released this album that he's referencing this from this album, he's referencing that from that album. His flow is like when he was in this era. His flow on this song is like when he was from this era. There's a lot of and it's very interesting to watch someone who is a very avid Eminem person, or at least who claims to be right listen to this, because it seems like at least Screwface, on Screwface's part, the parts that he likes about the album are the parts that it seems Eminem knows people like. Yeah. And the parts that he doesn't like is also the same parts that Eminem knows people don't like. So he purposely makes a point in this whole album to show, hey, you know,
I know the perceptions going on here.
right.
I'm not oblivious to what people are saying.
Right. And it seems like from Screw's perspective that what he's been seeing, a lot of people, it's going over their heads because they're so focused on, oh my gosh, Slim Shady's back. He's dissing this. He's dissing that. He's saying all this stuff that's offensive. He's back.
Right.
But it's like, no, listen to what he's saying, though. Like, actually listen to it. He's saying that this character, this person, yes, there's some songs where he says that, but he's doing it purposefully. And then in the next song, he's Eminem.
Right.
And then in the next song, he's Marshall.
Right.
So there's like 3 different personas that he's playing in this entire album. That's all leading. It's apparently Screwface says that Eminem says to listen to it in chronological order because it's a whole story throughout the whole album,
Right.
as if it's like a movie, and it is. It's really,
Which there's
really
a lot of rap albums used to do that. Which is why
That's what he was saying.
it was
too.
such a special thing when Kendrick Lamar did it. Basically, almost all of his albums do this, but especially Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is an album you kind of have to listen to in order because it is telling a full story in a chronological kind of way. But yeah, like
most albums used to do that because
that was
you played the whole thing.
yeah. You had to play it all the way through, but yeah. So
and he was saying that this is his like favorite album that he's released.
really,
He said that this is his favorite.
I gotta listen to it then.
Yeah.
I've been hearing recently that apparently there's playing the album in reverse. So like reverse order tells another story, but I don't know a lot about any of that.
I can see that.
You think so?
I mean, basically it's the whole thing. Yeah, I guess so. The last couple songs don't seem to necessarily play into the Slim Shady versus Eminem versus Marshall thing. At least not from one perspective, which is why it's interesting to hear that because yeah, that's interesting.
Okay.
I'd have to do that. I have to listen to that back. It's so good. Again, I'm not an avid hip hop listener or an Eminem, he's cool. I'm just not like, I haven't been a fan.
Which is crazy that you got to it before me then, because I've been a big Eminem fan for basically since 4th grade.
Yeah, like his I like his flow. Like he's got some great songs for sure, right?
Right.
He could rap crazy. That's just nuts. But I just never really listened to his stuff.
That's fair.
It just never crossed
and
my
that's how
genre.
music goes. Like not everyone is going to listen to everything, and that's just not how that works.
But like this shit was kind of fire.
Sweet.
Dude.
What's in this comment?
Yeah, so
We'll
the
get
comment
there.
basically summarizes a lot of what Rueben said, a lot of what I was talking about, and I think it's one of the better comments that I've seen about everything.
So to explain, recently, and I think either today or yesterday, there was another like skit that Eminem just put out, like a 20-minute like kind of skit where he's sitting down. So you have Eminem, Marshall Mathers, like the guy he is currently today in 2024, talking to an AI recreation of Slim Shady.
Yep.
Back from that time, and they are hamming it up. You are supposed to know this is an AI creation. Like this thing is like talking in a really weird way with like his old voice, and also like glitching out and like swapping like faces with like masks, and words are playing around it. You're supposed to know this thing is an AI creation. They're playing super heavy into it, and he's sitting there having this whole conversation with it about like basically fighting back and forth with him of like his old edgy ass persona.
It's like they're dissing each other as if it was like a general diss track at each other, but at the same time, and Screwface notes this, it's basically the entire album in those 10 minutes of arguing.
I was gonna say, is it just like a basically retelling the album? Because that's what I got the feeling of.
Pretty much. A lot
Okay.
of the things that they argue about in chronological order essentially is
Just
stuff
how
that
the
pops
album
up
goes.
in the
Nice.
album, which I think is, again, really smart
Yeah.
because not everybody's going to listen through the entire album like that.
Right.
But you could pretty much get the gist of the entire album just by watching this 10-minute video of them
Yeah.
arguing back and forth.
I think the one thing after watching that video, the one thing that's kind of nice is to know that Eminem is very aware, because this is a thing that a lot, I won't say a lot, but a few content creators do. And we're sorry, Fluff, we are going to get back to you soon. I promise.
So you're right.
But a few like content creators, music artists from old times, they will do this thing where they'll end up cultivating an audience, even if they don't mean to. And they will then spend a lot of time kind of at odds with that audience when they're trying to move away from it and they realize the audience is still there. Or they'll be like oblivious to this audience that they created, and then they'll be like, I don't know why everyone has such a problem. Like,
and sometimes they'll create that audience and that audience will change.
And the audience will change, right?
Well, like literally change the way that the person presents themselves because they end up in a feedback loop. Like you saw with like PewDiePie.
Oh, yeah. Like, so it's really nice to know that, like, after watching this video, you know that Marshall Mathers is very aware of some of the problems in his fan base. Yeah. So Screwface Jean is a channel I've been watching for 3-4 years now, something like that. I was around before. I think I've been watching Screw since he was back at like 50K subscribers. And like been watching him ever since then. I got into him because of another rap beef, but it was more of a YouTuber rap beef at the time. He is one of my favorite like rap reactors / commentators. He also does his own raps. I don't really listen to his raps super often, but they're pretty good. There's two other like rap YouTubers that I follow, Crypt and No Life Shaq. But out of the three, Screw is the one that I tend to listen to more regularly. And he is super knowledgeable, especially when it comes to stuff like battle rap. But he is a major hip hop head that has a lot of knowledge about hip hop. And so it's always really entertaining to watch him and kind of get his perspective on stuff. But yeah, so that was the skit. And so we're going to read out this comment here that you put. Yeah. Specifically, I would like to read it. Oh, that's why.
See, I can read it.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. It says, see, a lot of people seem to forget there's no M or Slim without Marshall. Bro said himself that Slim Shady is a character he created you could probably zoom out a little bit.
Yeah. I have to, sorry.
No, you good. That Slim Shady is a character that he created as a way to get out of a difficult situation. It gave him confidence, and he got extremely big thanks to extremely big thanks to this character. Putting up that facade takes a toll on your mental, especially when people want Slim Shady and not what you actually are. And we almost lost him to OD. How could we expect him to be the same after that, even in his music? That's some life-changing experience, man, especially since he was a father throughout all of it.
I'll pause you for one quick second before we continue. That was a bullshit thing that happened in Eminem, and one of the things that kind of upset me with some of the more, honestly, is I can't even put this on extreme fans and stands and shit. There's just some people that are like, you have to listen to what you're saying here, because there's an album he put out after his rehab called, not Relapse, it was called it was something. Relapse is an album he did, but it might be Relapse. No, I don't think it's Relapse. Anyway, there was an album he put out after he got out of rehab that everybody was like, oh, he lost his old sound and you don't sound like the old Slim Shady. I was like, motherfuckers, it's almost because he almost fucking OD'd. Like he was taking so many drugs. You should want him to still be around. And this is kind of like the amount of they not seeing the human behind the artist and behind the music is infuriating at times.
I could see people seeing the human though, and almost not wanting him to come back from that, right? Because if the parts of this is pure speculation, right? But if the parts of the music that they connected with are the parts of themselves that they hate, but they might see in that music or in that musician, right? In almost like the same way that, like in almost like a regressive sense that they want to know that somebody else is out there that's as fucked up and like denigrated as they are, they might almost wish for him to not make that change.
Okay. They have a more toxic parasocial relationship going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that.
I guess I can see that. And that equally pisses me off as well. Yeah, but
it's not better. It's not good.
It's not making it any better, but yeah, fair.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, a good, an interesting perspective on it
Right.
that I didn't think about.
Like, I'm very glad this person called that out, but all right, go ahead.
Yeah. He's chilling now. He's doing good in his personal life, and it looks like his mind is clear enough that he can take his music back on top now. He separated his character from himself. He clearly showed in his new album that he still has those old school flows and stuff, which is true. In a lot of the music and songs,
Yeah.
he dips back into the old school Shady-esque style
Right.
that everybody loves. It's just not necessarily shady. It's
Which
still
I will
him.
say, some of the other criticisms I find more fair levied at him, even though I don't agree with them, is they didn't like that he was kind of dipping more into that people call it lyrical spiritual. It is the fast style of rapping in which it seems more like fitting as many syllables in than it is about like schemes and stuff. Even though Eminem, personally, I think Eminem has always done a good job, even in like the fast rapping, is fitting in schemes and bars and making things like, even though they sound fast, they also have like double entendres and they have meaning and they have stuff, even if it's not like grand cultural or any kind of like metaphorical. And like they're supposed to, like, not everything is supposed to be like a life lesson or some shit in music, but people were really having a problem with like his whole like fast rap era and his like the stuff like pretty much post Rap God.
Yeah.
Rap God and pretty much everything that came after that, people really didn't like, which I think is a fairer argument, even though I don't agree with it. I like that kind of shit, but that is what I like personally.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that impressed me the most about the album is that he was able to do both. Like really well, it seems, in this album because he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
That was always the thing with me. It was like, Eminem has already proven he can do the shit he used to do. Now he's moving on to, like, it was, for me, it was always, Eminem is at a level in which he's doing what he wants because he knows that he can. And he's proving he's in a bad, like, it always felt like, it's the same thing as when like, artists would do like very experimental albums. And it's like, it's because they've already proven that they're one of the best at what they do. So now they can branch out and do the stuff that they enjoy. But I think we have an interesting perspective on that because we have seen the burnout. We understand burnout more than probably the average listener does.
Well, and you don't want to do the same thing over and over again.
You would think, but people complain when they don't. It's like sometimes people just want to do something different and they want to like try out different backs and stuff. But yeah.
He separated character, plus he's, mine's clear enough. He's back at the top. He separated his character from himself, clearly showed in a new album. He still has those old school flows and stuff. Plus, he's obviously very aware of himself personally and musically. It looks like he needed this album way more than his own fans did. Everybody can have their favorite rapper, of course, but M is the GoPro, and this is when he gets into this comments of his own personal stuff. The first part was like the important stuff, but this is all interesting stuff too. As a white European dude, I guarantee you M brought the whole genre here. I'm Italian, one of our athletes who just won gold at the Olympics. This is Olympics time, by the way, 2024. Has bleached blonde hair, and I heard a 60-plus-year-old family member calling him out for having similar hair to that American blonde rapper. He's the reason most of people who look like me, to quote him, and are from the same geographics that I'm from got into this genre in the first place. And he did it by being so real and respectful about the culture as well. He almost single-handedly brought hip-hop as it was outside of Black America to the whole world. That's some top-tier GOAT shit.
Yeah. Like that is Eminem's legacy. And there's commentary to be said about the need to have a white person take a traditionally Black media form for it to be taken like serious on a global stage. Like there's
Elvis.
Yeah. But I mean,
Elvis, even
Eminem has compared himself
to
Elvis before, but Eminem does. The difference between Eminem and Elvis is the respect for the original culture. Eminem has done it because there's plenty of examples of white people taking traditional Black like genres and blowing them up and passing it off as their own thing. We know that. Like that's Elvis, and sorry motherfuckers, but Elvis really did rip off rock and roll. Elvis is not like white people did not invent rock and roll, that Black people have been doing that long before. Matter of fact, rock and roll is a subgenre of the blues. Blues, honestly, is spawned off almost most modern genres that we know of today. But Elvis got super popular biting off the backs of Black people. Eminem, while on the surface doing the same thing. Eminem has always been very, very conscious and very, very vocal about what he is doing. Like, so there was this whole argument years ago, and it started with God, I cannot think of his name immediately, but he's this old hip hop head. He was like a part of like this older group, but he is it Lord Jamar? Lord Jamar, that is his name. Lord Jamar had this big thing, and this kind of plays into the problem with certain audiences and how you cultivate your audiences and certain stands and fans and shit. There was a big topic about Eminem's place in hip hop and about the whole like, well, can a non-black person really be considered the best at anything in hip hop, and what is his place? And it was, the big metaphor was metaphorically it was called the House of Hip Hop, and whether Eminem was a guest or an actual member of the House of Hip Hop. And so it was a lot of back and forths, and a lot of like weird stuff was said, and a lot of colorism was thrown out, and a lot of like, for what it was, really was just kind of racism. But for the most part, Eminem himself will tell you he is a guest in the House of Hip Hop. He understands that this is a art form genre that was born out of essentially oppression, and is born off he understands his place in hip hop, even if some fans don't understand it, and talking heads proceed to argue with those fans. Screwface Jean says this a lot in a lot of Eminem based videos, that the problem people have with Eminem is you rarely ever Eminem himself. It is stuff fanatics have said about Eminem and trying to speak for Eminem. It's I do not envy the position that Eminem finds himself in a lot. He does walk a weird like tightrope when it comes to being in the genre and being respectful to the genre, and then dealing with his fan base, which once again, unfortunately, when you spent most of your formative parts of the career like being Slim Shady, it happens. And I believe that's the main reason why he sat down and did this skit and did this explanation. Like, that's why it's so truncated, because I think there's some people who needed to be told very directly. It's a very much a BoJack Horseman situation of sometimes the person who's trying to get a point across has to just lay it the fuck out. Yeah. Because otherwise some of the people that love it or the fans of it will just not get it, that you are not supposed to love this.
Yeah. That's Screwface says as much in that video right there when he's breaking it down. He said, I think he did this so that the fans can grow up.
It's time for y'all to grow up. Like, we are past this. Slim Shady is done. The Slim Shady era was over with. This whole, I'm going to prove how offensive. Like, it's really, Slim Shady really was the poster boy for I'm just an asshole as a personality type. And it's like, it's time for a lot of y'all need to grow the fuck out of that. And I know people that need to grow the fuck out of that. It's like, you can't be an asshole your whole, I guess you can be an asshole, but know that it's not going to be a positive personality trait.
It ain't going to work like you think it's going to work.
It ain't working the way you think it's working. I got to listen to this fucking album.
Yeah. Bottom of the line, like long story short, listen to the album in chronological order. And then listen to some people who are very avid Eminem fans who can break it down, who are really good at analyzing stuff like this. Listen to them talk about it.
Screwface Jean, I will absolutely recommend to go listen to this specifically. He does if you're looking for somebody and you don't really know, go look up Screwface Jean. Very easy to find, right on YouTube, does all these breakdowns. If that is to me one of the most digestible portals into hip hop. If you don't already have somebody like that you can talk to and listen to. There are definitely other like YouTube hip hop reactors. There's Knox Hill that is also a really good breakdown. Like I said, Crypt, No Life Shack do a really good job. There's a litany of other YouTubers. Some of them I watch from time to time. Some of them like it's more. I'm not subscribed to them as one of those ones I watch of like those pop up in the recommendeds when this stuff is going down. But yeah, Honestly, I will probably actually this Eminem Gets Real About Himself video. I will probably link down in the description as well. So if y'all want to go watch a really good breakdown, that's the one to go watch.
Yeah, a lot of things that John or Screwface says in his breakdown, because he did the whole album thing a week ago when it dropped.
Yeah.
He said a lot of things.
Actually, he did this album like a fucking week late because he kept meaning to.
Oh well,
he kept pushing it back because more fucking Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef stuff kept coming out.
Yeah, but no, like he said a lot of stuff in that, and then a lot of people were telling him that even Eminem in that one-on-one video that he did with himself,
right?
He referenced a lot of what
said
Screwman said in that video. Not that Eminem was taking what he said. It's just like they were both on that same level.
A lot of like aligned stuff happened.
Which is why I think he's a good source to watch for this, because again, it seemed like he had the same line of thinking.
Which is really funny because not long after the initial drop of the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, Screw got into kind of a bit of a battle with one of the guys I just mentioned, Knox Hill. They had a bit of a rap beef going back, and the fallout from that was people like really convinced that Screw hated like white people in general, and especially Eminem. And it was like, y'all are definitely only here from a beef and you have never watched a Screwface video. Because now Screw does some stuff that I find a little annoying. Like Screw hits the point of being like an anti-stan, if that makes any sense. Like Screw tries so hard to prove he's not a stan that he starts doing stan-like stuff in the other direction. And like, if you don't know, a stan is a term coined by Eminem, which is means like, so Eminem has a song called Stan, and that's where the term comes from. Stan is a fictional character that was a Eminem super fan, and to the point that, I guess to give the backstory on this song, if you've never heard Stan before, Stan is constantly writing to Eminem, hoping for Eminem to respond, because Eminem told him at a show once that, hey, if you ever write me, I'll write you back type deal. And this dude is obsessed with Eminem to the point of like, I'm going to have a daughter. I'm going to name her after Haley. I'm going to name my daughter Haley as well. Hey man, I stood out in the rain and cold, and you were supposed to give and me and my little brother were there, and you didn't stop or give us the time of day. And like, he's having this one-sided conversation, and it grows to the point that he has a psychotic break and kills him and his pregnant girlfriend by driving off a bridge. And then it cuts over to Eminem writing back to Stan going, hey man, I'm so sorry. I've just been super busy. I got here's an autographed, here's a starter cap, some baseball starter cap. I autographed it for your little brother. Basically him going was like, I'm just a human. I'm a human. Sorry. So, because all he knows is that he missed the first letter. He doesn't know the last one, because the last one was an audio recording that Stan can never send off, because obviously he's recording it in the car he's about to kill himself in. So they never find it. So by the end of Eminem's verse, where he's like,
is it real or is this fake? Like,
well, this is a fake scenario, but it's Eminem addressing super fans. So he has addressed super fans before in the past, but it's basically him going like, guys, I'm a fucking human. I can only do so much. And I know y'all have like these high hopes for me, but like, I can only do so much. And you can't let your love for my music become your obsession. That's the entire point of it. That's where the term stan comes from. If you hear anyone use the term stan, that's where it's coming from, which is really funny.
Like K-pop?
Yep.
Yes.
Like,
because if you ever heard K-pop stan,
like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
No, that's a stand
with the D.
That's with the D. No, stan is in like stan.
Says we stand him. Yeah, that's what that's.
That's where the term stan comes from.
They're saying
sort of
they're
taken
psychotic.
off a life of its own after that. Now it's occupied like a space in the culture. But
yeah, I mean, in fairness, the term fan is short for fanatic, which was to be someone who's a little over into it. But like, yeah, so it's one of those things. So, God, I completely forgot why I got here. I fucking hate my brain sometimes.
You were talking about Screwface John being an anti-stan.
There we are. That's right. He tries so hard to be like, to prove that he's not a stan, that he'll stand in the opposite direction, and he'll like start to discredit Eminem on some stuff that I think is completely unfair to M. Because what you're really doing is arguing against stans. And he kind of does the thing that he's already called out before. And so that's one of my small gripes with Screwface. Because then he'll also like go like all like he'll kind of rip on other reactors who only mention Eminem for views. But it's like, Screw, you just mentioned his name in a video that's not about Eminem. And he does this a lot. He hasn't been as bad about it lately, but he used to be really bad for, it didn't matter what the video was about. It could have been about freestyles from LA Lakers. It could have been about a different artist song that just came out. At least one point, he's going to mention Eminem for some reason. And it's usually in the context of saying that other reactors talk about Eminem so much just for the views. And it's like, Screw, bro, please stop.
Do you see what you're doing?
Do you see what you are doing right now? But I still enjoy his content. I still enjoy his content. I'm wondering if he became aware of that, especially after the Knox Hill thing.
Yeah.
Because that's when I noticed the sharp decline in it.
I mean, at least you know he's passionate about it.
He is passionate about it.
Which is why these videos are actually like really good.
Yeah, like I know he's passionate. Like, Screw, you can be a fan, bro. Like, you don't have to prove that you're not crazy. Like, we know that you're not, but it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy after a while when you're trying so hard to prove that you're not, that it is what it is.
I love him so much, but he doesn't want me to. But I love him, but he doesn't want me to.
He doesn't want me
if
to.
I love him, I should try not to love him.
Honestly, yeah, it kind of is that. It kind of is that.
Interesting.
It's like trying to prove that you don't have a crush on somebody
by teasing them.
No, by hating them.
That's like kindergarten.
I guess
shit,
like
actually.
the teasing is like kind of was born of that. Like I'm gonna prove to everybody I don't like this person so hard that I'm going to hate them by accident. And it's
even on purpose.
That's
kindergarten, grade school shit.
That's
like playground. Oh, I like her, but I'm going to be.
I can't show it because I'm going to be mean to you instead. Because I don't know what else. Babaka. It's real. Screwface Jean is tsundere for Eminem. That is absolutely kind of what it is.
That's pretty good.
That's the title. I love you, Screw. But bro, yeah.
Good shit though. Good
shit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to this album. I'm definitely gonna do that. Probably tomorrow, I think.
Do it.
I don't think I have really anything else going on at this point, so
it's worth it.
All right, we've been at this almost 2 hours now, so we have one final thing to get into, and that is Manhua with I saw a license plate with the word Manhua that was just the word Manhua. And I'm so mad I couldn't get a picture of it.
Dang.
Like I was just driving, and by the time I noticed it, so they were in the lane next to me as I was like coming up the lane, the left lane. And by the time I noticed it, we were coming up to a red light. They were the line of cars they were in were longer than the one I was slowing down in. And they were turning and I couldn't get a picture of it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like Manhua. And I was like, there's no way that's an accident, right?
That's not an accident.
That's not an accident.
That's my friend.
Like there is an infinitesimal like possibility that those 6 characters just happen to fall that way, but I do not believe for a fucking second that was an accident.
They usually have like, was it alphanumerical? Like was
that?
Oh, okay.
So no, it was the word.
It
was Manhua.
I think they would usually have numbers if it was just a random.
If it was just random, there would definitely probably be numbers. But it is possible for you to generate either in all numbers or in all letters. There is a slightly above 0 chance that it could be random.
Improbable.
It's just very improbable.
Unlikely.
Yeah, very improbable.
Right.
Typically, it's like 3 letters and then a space and then like a few numbers or something like that.
Right.
On a randomly generated one.
Right. So the odds of this being randomly generated was crazy. I just know that I was like, it was one of those. I got so unnecessarily excited that I'm kind of glad people don't pay attention to the other people in the cars a lot, because I probably would have looked like the biggest doofus.
Probably fumbling.
Right. I was fumbling trying to get my phone. I was like, by then it was like he was already gone.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, Fluff would have loved this. But anywho, Manhua with Fluff. So we got all.
Synopsis is so bad.
It looks, I can already tell. You'll give us a better one, don't worry. All right, so we got All Hell the Sect Leader. That is Sect with a T, not Sex Leader like I thought it was at first.
Bro looked like Rimuru.
He does look a little bit like an older.
At least in this picture, because the color. I'm thinking of the color specifically.
Oh, fair enough.
Like
Fair
the
enough.
hair.
That's just how his hair be.
Yeah.
How his hair be?
He's giving off Rimuru vibes right now. That's what I'm getting from this.
A little bit. Rimaru's cooler older brother. So, all the members of my sect are abnormally strong. All my disciples turn out to be big shots, and I'll definitely become invincible in this world. That's okay. That's a synopsis.
Is that accurate?
They have small.
That's small.
They have strong members and they shoot big.
That is Rimuru energy.
Yeah, honestly, kind of.
I mean, it's not too dissimilar. So, it's a cultivation setting.
Okay.
Guy gets transmigrated. Big surprise. Never seen this before. He gets a system. Super original.
What?
He has, I think it's like 20 years or something like that, to make his sect the biggest sect or the best sect in the world.
Nice.
All right. How many
Or
do
else,
this?
what is there like a tag on it? Like,
He'll die, presumably.
Oh, okay.
oh,
I don't know if they spell that consequence out directly or if they're just like, you'll fucking die. But yeah,
there's a time limit.
there's a time limit.
Hmm.
So it's just all about, I love stories like this because it's about somebody scooping up people, creating a community, and making them all buff as fuck, and then going around and fucking shit, and then steamrolling people who underestimate them.
Nice.
Mhm.
You know, it's generally, the story's not, gonna make you be like, oh, insights into the truth of humanity. But the main character is very funny and interesting. He has sort of like an on-again, off-again romance with one of the main characters.
Mhm.
All the characters have their own like subplots that are interesting. The setting is very interesting.
You know what's very interesting about this?
What?
No harem tag.
Yeah, it's monogamous pairs at the center of the story.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we like that.
None of this devil worshiping polygamy. Get that shit out of me. Get this out of my Christian manhwa.
There are some characters that get women, but there's generally not like a harem
Nice.
stuff. And
It's not the
they're
focus.
just the
There
disciples.
is.
Yeah, it's not the focus. So yeah, there's just a cast of characters that you generally like, really like. I don't find any of them super annoying or anything like that. There's a lot of jokes about Chinese or I'm just gonna say Asian because I'm not sure where exactly this comes from. If it's whether it's manhua or manhua.
It's manhua, so it's Chinese. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah,
that's also a very Chinese title right there, and that's Chinese. No,
that's Chinese characters.
that's Chinese characters. Yeah.
I mean, it could also be Japanese, but it's almost certainly Chinese. About like the traditional expectations of like of a maternal pair, like that just don't exist in our culture at all.
Yeah.
Like women being responsible for the finances so that men don't go to the whorehouses.
No, okay.
I was about to say that first half. I was like, no, that's pretty common. Oh,
Like
okay.
that's the reason.
That's the reason.
Mhm. Yeah.
like just common in culture. The reason.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
jokes. I forget if it was a translator note or if I had to go like look it up, but that's the reason. Well, that's at least it's the joke.
Yeah. Okay.
The like jokes about him like keeping money in the bottom of his shoe, otherwise like stuff that it's just like, huh? Oh, I guess that's interesting.
Okay.
Do that, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really fun read. I really enjoyed it so far. It's still going strong.
Are you all the way caught up to recent?
Yep.
343.
343. You know, it's one of those ones where, especially if you're a big fan of like the genre, the different genres, a lot of the different characters, like because it's a sect, you have a bunch of like sub archetypes, like within the sect. So you get to read all of your archetypical shit without dwelling too much on any of the things you're probably already bored with. And yeah, it's very fun read.
Those percentages don't add up to 100%. They add up to 101.
Noise.
Someone's cheating.
Someone's rounding.
They forgot
up.
to start the.
That's crazy.
God, what is that called? It would be a
Code.
It's not a table. It's like a table.
Chart?
Array.
Array. Yeah.
Oh.
They started the array at 1 instead of 0.
Maybe, yeah.
Which
Maybe.
would be hard to do.
I was going to say,
it would be harder to do.
I was going to say,
You
I would
would think-
assume that these numbers are pulled from out of 100.
Well, they don't have any decimal points, so if half
They
a
don't
person
have any.
voted,
That is true. That is true.
no, you can actually do like 4.5 or like 5.5 or whatever.
Really?
So that might be one of them.
Oh,
Might be
it's
like
just-
a split where two votes are getting one person, something like that.
Well, disappointed. Burn Kinmay to the
Blood
ground.
system. No,
Throw it all
I would
away.
put it at a solid 7.5.
Okay.
It's really enjoyable to read. It's not gonna it's nothing crazy or new that you haven't seen before, but it's interesting enough to keep you coming back, and it's enjoyable enough that I look forward to it every time that something comes up.
One of the better ones in this genre type.
Actually, it
Yeah,
sounds like
well,
it's one
and
of the-
it's I would say it's also primarily comedy. So one of the better
Yeah.
comedies in this genre, I would say.
fair enough.
Nice.
Well, that's All Hail the Sect Leader. Otherwise titled The Greatest Sect Leader of All Time. All right. Well, sweet. Another episode down. A lot of conversation. Something
Yeah.
I've been meaning to mention. Caught up on Demon Slayer. I am not 100% caught up on that.
I am not.
Right.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the dub. Currently isn't all out yet.
Filthy fucking.
I said he was dumb.
I know. I don't want to sit and read. I want this is one of the few shows that I want to not have to think about reading. I want to sit and watch the animation and just listen to English go straight into my ears while I watch the beautiful scenery before me.
It is a really beautiful scenery.
It is. It's
That
really
is that is a show that manages there's definitely a difference, but its movie quality versus its episode quality is not super far. There's not a big gulf between that, because a lot of shows usually have a really big riff. You can tell when it's done by a movie studio versus their usual go-to animation houses, right? That one, and it might be a matter of the art style or the animation style or what, I don't know, but it manages to stick pretty close to the movie shit.
really faithful to the manga from what I've seen as well.
Really?
Yep.
Nice. So I am. Hopefully you get caught up. Well, yeah, I guess you got to wait until.
It won't.
How far?
I don't know if
behind
you
are
know this, but once you learn to read, you can't not read if words are presented in front of your face. It's an automatic process that your brain does without you having to think about it. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, that's true. But even still,
Bold of you to assume that he knows how to read. We're kidding.
I know.
Mostly, we love you, Formz.
I don't.
I know.
I almost said fluff.
But fuck
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
kidding, I
It's
do
weird.
love you.
There's I've been able to just be
No,
fine.
you want to know what it is?
What?
You binging fucking One Piece and other anime while at work has rewired your brain to require dub.
It has, but at the same time, I am fully caught up with One Piece,
Yeah.
and I had to read sub for half of the entire 1,000 episode release.
Oh, really?
To do that, yeah,
I thought you were watching it all dub because weren't you working at Dark Frog at the time?
I was.
Yeah.
And I was watching dub up until it was sub because the dub wasn't
I
caught
see
up
what you
yet.
mean, yeah.
And I was like,
I don't want to
this show's
stop.
too good. I want to keep going, but that just means that I need to not watch it. I can't binge watch it anymore. I have to like actually sit down and read it while I watch, which means I couldn't watch it anymore at my work. I had to do it either episodically at night. Before I go to bed, I'd watch like 4 or 5 episodes or something for like a couple hours.
Right.
Or sometime during the day when I'm like after homework or something. I don't know.
Right.
I took a lot of time for like 6 to 8 months when I was just binging One Piece. For the first like 3 months, it was at work. But then the rest of it, to catch up to where it was at, which was in the middle of Whole Cake Island, I think. Just a little bit before Wano.
Really? That's when you caught up?
Yeah.
Damn.
It took me a minute because I did take a big pause, but I caught up and I just had to watch it outside of work for like 4 or 5 months.
Fair.
Straight. I
around
didn't
the
watch
time that
anything
I caught
else,
up as
just
well.
One Piece.
I will say, for as much as I rag on you about it, I understand. Catching up, like, is current, like, honestly, I've actually really been liking getting back into anime because it's been so long since I just sat down and just watched anime the way I have been the last, like, basically since we started this podcast. That was really the impetus of me getting back into anime, along with like catching up on One Piece and then like a lot of the stuff we've talked about and we sat down to watch and like, but yeah, it's like, it is a time commitment when you're doing the sub thing. It's very much like I can't watch that during the day.
It requires focus
Of some degree. Like, yeah, when I am watching it, so it's almost the same thing with the Minecraft thing I talked about at the beginning of the episode. Of those subtitles is almost a second nature thing for me now.
See, it's wild that your brain is able to do that. My brain can. I don't think I could ever do that.
Really?
Even mini maps.
Really?
Mini maps, I can't. Like, they don't really work for me because I have to give it dedicated attention, create an interpretation, and then return to what I was doing. Maybe it's just because I didn't play like stuff that was incorporated like that at a young enough age, but like I can't passively take in that information. I have to actively like focus on it.
Because I guess mini maps they've been a part of my gaming periphery for a long time. Because a lot of my gaming stuff came from Nintendo 64 era, which almost exclusively had mini maps on everything. So I got really used to like using the mini map to kind of get a bird's eye view of what I'm doing and where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then
for me, it was
back.
I want to say that even shit like health bars is hard for me to keep track of, but I don't
really.
I don't know how true that one is. Well, because I'm thinking back on games that use them. If like they're like the stamina ring in Zelda, that's fine.
Okay,
but
because that's like right there.
Yeah,
it's right there on the character.
But I'm thinking about like.
I don't look at health bars until it's like when it starts blinking, then I know what the health is at. But
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like because most of the games that I would play, thinking Dead Cells. I'm thinking Hyperlight Drifter. Hyperlight Drifter, you just count. You don't.
I was gonna say it's I think it's Hyperlight Drifter where you can only take so much damage before
it's 4 hits.
4 hits. It's like 4 straight up hits before you just.
Are they in the form of a heart, like the health system, or is it
It's
a
like
meter?
a cube.
Oh, okay.
I love Hyperlight Drifter so much.
He does love him some Hyperlight Drifter. Have you played? Has Hyperlight Breaker out yet?
I don't know.
We've talked about it, and I've been hearing about it for a long time now. I think I got announced like 2 years ago.
It was.
I don't know if it's
a long time ago.
The sequel to Hyperlight Drifter.
Like for me, when it comes to like the mini map thing, for me it was the first person shooters and stuff that I played when I was on Xbox with my friend in high school. We played all the time, so I got used to that type of style of mini map where it shows you enemies and stuff,
right?
Or like the radar type thing.
Oh, it's come out this summer.
Really?
Oh, okay.
It came out or it's coming out?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, no, that was.
We just know summer 2024.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's going to be.
Well, get ready for that pushback announcement.
You
because summer is just about done. We got like a month left.
True.
Almost exactly. Now. It fucking drops September 20th. It drops on your wedding day.
It also looks like it's probably going to be taking some inspiration from Risk of Rain, which I'm excited
Really?
about. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
It says it's going to be 3D co-op.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So.
Has it never been co-op like that before? Or
No, it's a very single player game.
That'd be sick. Okay. I gotta play Hyperlight Drifter. I still have not played that. Same as
I've watched Fluff play it.
I watched Fluff play a little bit of it. I still gotta play Hades.
Same.
What are you, gay?
I've done the thinking. I don't think so.
Damn it.
I thought you were about to haul off and just break my wrist with your phone.
No more masturbation.
Joke's on you, bitch. That's not the masturbating hand.
It,
Fuck.
it was supposed to be
Joke's
my.
on you, bitch. That ain't.
I masturbate. It
Who said I
masturbates on
use
its
my-
own.
Who said I use my hands,
I
bitches?
break your jaw.
You're okay. You
I still got my toes.
still got my toes.
I still have an asshole.
Just wrap my dick around and tuck it on in.
Joke's on you, bitch. I still have your mom.
It was supposed to be me.
Oh.
It should have been me.
We've been going too long. That's the point in which I know that we've been going way too long. Which we've only been going for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours has been 3, at least.
No, because remember, we didn't even he got back at 8:30.
Yeah.
I didn't get a little behind the scenes for y'all here. I didn't get the stuff done and started loaded. We didn't start until like 8:50.
Well, that just means that this is about the
It's
length
about a
that
normal.
it typically is.
Yeah. And there's not a lot to edit out of this. We kept it
And
going.
I'm about to shit myself.
That is fair. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
5 stars.
Socials.
Socials, all that fun shit. Follow everything.
The panic that followed was so
This man's got a shit.
This man has to shit, and we take shitting seriously in this house.
Absolutely.
So y'all have a fantastic night. Remember to comment or don't. And if you don't, share it. All that fun shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Please use appropriate lube.
please use appropriate lube. And if you are having constant orgasms, go see a doctor.
Nothing
that
we
mayonnaise
said
back,
on this
sir.
podcast should be taken as medical advice or a recommendation for what to do with your body. It was based off of something that somebody else said on the internet. So fucking just
No, don't put mayo in your vagina.
don't put mayo.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm saying don't put mayo when you're I'm saying don't use vegetable oil. I'm saying don't use stuff you bought at the store. I'm saying
That means you, sir and or ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yeah,
I'm
put it down.
saying
Stop it in those outside and in between. We
Use
see you
at your
too.
own risk. Consult your doctor if you have any problems.
Please.
I'm not responsible for whatever happens
Y'all,
to you.
Astro Lube is all of like $7. Just go pay it.
It is my favorite.
It does not cost a lot.
I don't know.
Fucking steal it if you got to. It's not locked up. I don't give a damn. Just
Or don't. You know, we're just
Nah,
internet.
fuck corporations.
So anyway, I walked down the alley to the dumpster as usual.
Oh,
Goodbye.
Bye.
No. Peace.
Like butt fucking slow burn.
Ah.